now let's talk about college here. Tell us how things are out in Washington. You chose a school which had some definite success before.
Yes.
And you're also able to get onto a team with some of the best runners in the country. Obviously, you're one of the best runners in the country, but to get on there with other best runners in the country, what was it about the University of Washington that intrigued you?
When I was a junior in high school and starting to decide, I had just, that was kind of when I had my breakout and I had done well at nationals, and I was like, okay, like I could probably, maybe get somewhere with this, like with running, someone will take me. And my coach, I remember he contacted them and got some information packets, and I filled out one of the information forms and sent it in, hoping that they might email me or something. And started talking to them over that summer. And one of the coaches had come out to my house and visited, and I loved her. And she said I could come out and visit them at school. And I remember meeting the head coach, Greg Metcalf, and he really I was like, okay, I have to go here, because he's just so enthusiastic about what he does, and puts 110% into the athletes. And when I had visited, it's cheesy because they always say you walk on campus and you just know, but I really, after running with the team and just how close the girls were, and I knew I wanted to be on a team with a lot of good athletes to train with and really push myself against, and not be number one on it, just kind of be able to go in and feed off the other girls. And it really had everything I was looking for. It was a hard decision to go so far away, but I kind of told myself, well, no matter how far I go, I'm not really going to be able to go home just with racing and traveling. So it was an easy decision.
Well, you mentioned about going onto a team where you weren't the best.
Mm-hmm.
You could have easily gone to anywhere.
Yeah.
And been the absolute top runner with no one. You could be running track races with no one to train with again. But who kind of put that in your head that was important to go to a type of situation where, even though you're one of the top runners in the country, that you want to go somewhere where you're fourth or fifth runner on a team?
Yeah. Well, I kind of decided that myself, just because I had been training by myself for so long, and it was I was just really done with it, and just kind of ready to. My freshman year in high school, I got to run with other girls on the team, but since then I had really never run in a pack of girls, and that was something that after I committed to Washington my whole year, I just kept looking forward to, you're going to have girls to train with, and just I knew that the only way for me to keep improving and not to just get burnt out from training by myself is just to have other people to push me. And that's how you get better. You just run with girls who are better than you. So.
Now talk about that transition to college. Obviously, it's a huge transition for any girl right now who's coming out of high school, ready to go into college. Not only from just a running standpoint, from a student standpoint. Yeah. Obviously, with running cross country, you're jumping up a bit in distance to the college level. Not too much, but a little bit. So that's a different transition. Talk about how you handled that transition. Not only running wise to the new distance, but just to school overall and life in general.
Yeah, I had a pretty rough transition my freshman year. I kind of told myself, you always hear freshman year, don't put too much pressure on yourself. It takes a long time to get used to. You don't run great right away. But I decided I'm going to be the person who breaks that and just prove it wrong, and just go and have nothing go wrong. And I definitely thinking about how the race at 6K, I need to train a lot more and harder. And with summer going into that year, I increased my mileage way too much, pushed myself too hard. When I got there, I was performing as the top of the team and doing really well. And it only lasted through preseason, and I just kind of crashed and burned. And it was just really rough for me being out there away from because I wasn't really running, because I had such a rough time. And having that happen away from home and being that far, and I was living in a dorm, and I never shared a room with anyone before, and I was very shy at that point, so I had a hard time kind of making friends with the girls. And just since I wasn't really running, that's kind of the reason I had gone out there, and I was like what do I do now? And the school side wasn't that much of a change. I guess I had expected it. I had prepared myself for much worse. So just going there and seeing the high school teachers sometimes tell you it's terrible. They prepare you for some huge thing, but I really didn't find it that different. But yeah, it was a rough transition running-wise for me.
You've made a good adjustment.
Yeah.
Your second year in college has worked out pretty well for you. You talked about being part of a group of other girls to run with, and obviously that comes into play a lot in cross country. Tell us about your cross country season so far, and a huge success for your team last fall.
Yeah.
Kind of a surprise coming in second at the national meet, but you've got some great runners on your team, but you guys still looked, surprised. And
Yeah.
The joy of running cross country, obviously.
Yeah, cross country, I think it'll always be my favorite team. It's just a team sport, and I think it always takes the pressure off just to know you have your teammates out there with you. And I love cross country training. We do like kind of pack training, and it's just a lot less stressful, and it's just like a team bond thing that it's just really like a good feeling being out there with everyone. And this fall we started off a little rocky. I know I had a pretty rough start. I was having some trouble with just like struggling with like anemia and with my iron, and our first race we did really bad, and we came in like 6th in some like little tiny meet. So we were kind of like, uh-oh, like we thought we were gonna, once we got there for preseason, we're like, we're gonna be a podium team, like top 3 for sure. And then that was kind of like our wake-up call. And after that, we really came on strong, and we won a big invitational, and we were disappointed. We got second at our conference meet, so we're just like, okay, like all that matters is nationals. Our coach always tells us, like, if you do well at nationals, no one remembers how you did like in October. It's all about November. So we really just concentrated on that the whole season, and he peaked us well. We really peaked at nationals, and I guess we were happy with second. I wouldn't say we were surprised. We had really been shooting for podium the whole year. We only lost by 8 points, and I think coming that close, really, we all kind of still talk about it like, oh my gosh, like we were so close. It's in those kind of races, it's like a second is 8 people. So it's like if someone is running second faster, and it could have been any of us. Right. So that's really motivated us a lot this year. Our goal is to win, and I think we lost one girl out of our top 5 last year, Christine Babcock, but we have some great freshmen coming in, and so we have some girls who were hurt last year who I think will make a big influence. So yeah.
Well, obviously, that transition your freshman year, you kind of got that out of the way. And anytime I've spoken to you, I spoke to you after the Oakland County meet in 2010 and seen you run at many high school meets. But each time I've talked to you, and now talking to you, obviously it looks like the joy is back, running-wise. And, talk to people how much that is important, to just love the sport.
Yeah, definitely. I know in my senior year, after I won Fall Aqua Nationals, which it was a great blessing and everything, but I think that unfortunately, it just kind of affected me almost negatively. I just started putting way too much pressure on myself, and just kind of made up expectations almost. I thought like everyone was expecting me to do certain things, when in reality it was just really myself telling that to myself. So I had kind of the rest of that year just running really wasn't fun for me anymore. To compete for a couple months and just having it almost taken away from me, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, like I love it so much, and I miss competing so much, and I realized like what a big part of my life it was. And I think ever since then it's just been, and also just having the team I have and the support, it's become like fun again, like something I love to do. Like I love going out for runs, going with my team, and just we have such a positive atmosphere that I've never really felt like I did, like that senior year, I never felt that way again about running. Like it's not like a job, it's just something I love to do. So.